Humanity is a spectrum. On one end, we witness acts of incredible kindness and compassion. On the other, we find a chilling capacity for cruelty. The story of Amelia Dyer sits firmly on the darker side of this spectrum. It's a story that chills the very core of human empathy. Amelia Dyer was a woman who walked among us. Seemingly ordinary, yet harboring a dark secret, she was a caregiver, entrusted with the most vulnerable members of society, yet she became their destroyer. This is the story of the woman who became known as the Ogress of Reading, a chilling reminder that darkness can lurk beneath the most unassuming of facades. Amelia Dyer was born in 1837 in the small village of Pile Marsh, England. Her childhood was anything but idyllic. Her mother suffered from typhus, a disease that ravaged her mind, leaving her in a state of perpetual confusion. Young Amelia witnessed her mother's descent into madness, a trauma that would leave an indelible mark on her psyche. Even death provided no escape from the harrowing reality of her childhood. Amelia was forced to witness her mother's violent seizures, a consequence of the relentless disease. These early experiences sowed the seeds of darkness within Amelia, shaping her perception of life and death in ways she could never have imagined. The line between care and cruelty began to blur. In Victorian England, poverty was a breeding ground for desperation. Unmarried mothers faced a stark choice: destitution or the workhouse. The workhouse offered a roof and meager rations, but at a cost: the separation of mother and child. It was a system that preyed on the vulnerable, offering a lifeline laced with despair. Amelia, now a married woman, saw an opportunity in this system. She began advertising her services as a baby farmer, someone who would care for these unwanted children for a fee. To desperate mothers, she offered a glimmer of hope, a loving home for their babies. In reality, she was setting a trap, one baited with false promises and fueled by greed. The allure of easy money proved too strong for Amelia. She began accepting more children than she could care for, her initial pretense of providing a loving home fading into a cold, calculated business transaction. The babies in her care became commodities, their lives measured in pounds and shillings. Death became a tool of her trade. Starvation was the most common method, a slow, agonizing demise. A death certificate would follow, signed off by a complicit doctor or forged by Amelia herself. The bodies were disposed of with chilling efficiency, buried in the back garden, their existence erased as easily as a line on a ledger. Amelia Dyer had become a monster, her heart hardened by greed. Section 5. The doctor's suspicions. For years, Amelia Dyer operated with impunity. Her crimes remained hidden in plain sight, cloaked by a system that turned a blind eye to the plight of the poor and unwanted. But her web of deceit began to unravel when a doctor became suspicious. A baby brought to the doctor's surgery bearing the telltale signs of neglect raised alarm bells. The child was emaciated, weak, and close to death. The doctor, familiar with Amelia's work, refused to issue a death certificate. This act of defiance, small yet significant, set in motion a chain of events that would expose the true horror of Amelia Dyer's crimes. Section 6. A trail of death. The doctor's suspicions led to a police investigation. Amelia, sensing the walls closing in, fled her home, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a growing sense of dread. The authorities, piecing together the fragments of her movements, uncovered a pattern of deceit that spanned years and encompassed multiple towns. It became horrifyingly clear that Amelia had been moving from town to town, assuming new identities and leaving behind a trail of dead babies. Each new location offered a fresh start, a chance to prey on the vulnerable and continue her gruesome trade. The scope of her crimes was staggering. The River Thames, a silent witness to the bustling life of London, whispered a chilling secret. A package wrapped in cloth and weighed down with bricks surfaced near the banks of the river. Inside, the tiny body of a baby girl, her life brutally cut short. The discovery sent shockwaves through London. The police, already hot on Amelia Dyer's trail, recognized the modus operandi. The package was traced back to a woman matching Amelia's description, confirming their worst fears. The River Thames, a symbol of lifeblood for the city, had yielded a gruesome testament to Amelia's depravity. Section 8. Unmasking a monster. The net was closing in. Amelia Dyer was apprehended, her reign of terror brought to an abrupt end. Her arrest sent a collective shudder through Victorian society. The woman who had presented herself as a savior of unwanted children was, in reality, a heartless killer. Her trial was a media sensation. Witnesses, some mothers who had entrusted their babies to Amelia's care, recounted their stories of hope and betrayal. The evidence against her was overwhelming. The police, in a grim discovery, unearthed the remains of several infants buried in the garden of her last residence. The sheer scale of her crimes shocked even the most hardened investigators. Section 9. Justice served. The jury's verdict was swift and unanimous: guilty. Amelia Dyer, the woman who had preyed on the innocent, was sentenced to death. Her execution, carried out on June 10, 1896, brought a sense of closure to a case that had horrified the nation. Amelia Dyer's story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of normalcy. It highlights the importance of vigilance, the need for greater oversight in institutions entrusted with the care of the vulnerable. It is a reminder that evil can wear many faces, and sometimes the most innocent are the most vulnerable to its grasp.